Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to compare two pet stocks, Chewy versus Bark, and answer which one is the better stock to buy. Now to answer this question, I'm going to look at revenue growth, operating profitability, cash flow, and valuation to come up with the answer for which one is the better pet stock to buy. So let's get started with revenue growth, and looking at this metric, Chewy surpassed a Bark in the last year and a half or so, with revenue growth in the double digits at 14.67%, while Bark has been experiencing revenue decreases 8% in the most recent quarter, and that's been falling quickly ever since July of 2021, a troubling trend to be sure. The next metric I wanted to compare these two on is operating profitability, and again Chewy well ahead of Bark here with 0.58% operating profit margin in the trailing 12 months. The company's done a good job of steadily improving margins. Meanwhile, Bark has turned things around and is moving in the right direction, although it's still far behind Chewy at negative 11% operating profit margin. Also, I wanted to compare these two companies on cash flow from operations. This cash flow from operations to sales, I should say. This measures how good the companies are at turning sales into cash flow and strips out some of those non-cash expenses like depreciation, like stock-based compensation. And looking at this metric, Chewy again is ahead of Bark at 3.97%, but only narrowly so, with Bark at 2.17% and Bark moving aggressively higher in its cash flow from operations to sales at 2.17%, but the trend is in Bark's favor in this metric. Finally, I wanted to look at valuation, and I chose to use the forward price to sales ratio because neither of these two were consistently profitable on the bottom line, enough so where the comparison would be informative. So I chose to use the forward price to sales. And judging by this metric, Chewy is more than twice as expensive at 0.887 compared to 0.438 for Bark stock here. Although looking back at the metrics we considered, including the cash flow from operations to sales and operating profitability, and finally revenue growth, it's clear that Chewy is ahead of Bark in each of those three metrics, and in two out of the three of those, very well ahead of Bark, enough so that I would feel comfortable paying the premium valuation and buying Chewy over Bark. So if I had to choose one of these two stocks to buy today, I would pick Chewy. But that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.